Has Mount & Blade finally been developed in VR, or is this just a failed attempt at a great idea? We will find out in our review of Tales of Glory. Talking about a great idea, I wanted to remind you all that I'm giving away a copy of Star Trek Bridge Crew, so you can have a blast killing some deadly Borgs as a team. If you would like to enter the giveaway, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment down below that you would like to enter the giveaway. I will give you more information of the giveaway at the end of the video. So, let's get straight into it. Tales of Glory is a medieval, epic-scale battle virtual reality game, which for me has copied the exact concept of Mount & Blade, but this time in VR. There is a campaign where you are the son of a fallen king trying to get back to your glory days. You need to build up your army and get your honor back by fighting and capturing lands and completing quests, which also consists of fighting. You are rewarded with money and experience for doing these things. So, the graphics are up first. Now, the first thing we need to consider is that a VR game already takes a toll on your system. Introducing hundreds of enemies at the same time in a game in a big map may break your system. However, the team at Blacktail Games have done a fantastic job at reducing the strain on your systems. While playing for several hours, I didn't have any performance issues. That being said, however, this does come at a cost. The cost is the lower graphical fidelity, but to be honest, it doesn't look that bad. It is noticeable, but you soon forget it when you're in the midst of battle. And I'm okay with the lower polygon count if there's a big improvement in performance. On the other hand, there is something else in the game that cannot be justified, and those are the bugs. I noticed so many weird bugs during my playthrough, such as the enemy's arm being stuck behind their head, the environment popping in and out where I feared I might just fall through the map. The enemy just standing around doing nothing while you're searching for them through the whole map trying to find that one guy that's left and just decided to protest and not fight. Until you get in his face, then he realizes, oh crap, I'm supposed to be fighting this guy invading us. Honestly speaking, I was actually quite disappointed that you aren't really able to interact with anything in the environment either. It was really quite immersion breaking seeing that everything around you was fake. Even when invading a city, there are like 2 or 3 citizens walking around, and it's always the same face you see. Although it seemed like it was one guy who kept trying to escape me and I was following him to different cities. Moving on to sound. It was again quite disappointing considering even if you hit the wooden part of your weapon, you get the sound that you've hit metal. Or if you hit the grass, you get the same cling sound like if you were striking steel. I don't think it would have really affected performance that much if the sounds were more accurate. The voices in the game are quite generic. And actually, when the game starts, your father is speaking to you, but his mouth isn't moving. And I was thinking, where is the sound coming from? Because the guy is lying there lifeless.
My son, come quickly. The 5 kingdoms have conspired against us.
Who's talking?
Our walls are breached.
The only cool thing about the sound was the horn that you blow to get your troops and yourself hyped up. But that wears off quite quickly. There isn't really much voice acting in the game at all other than the people cheering and saying that they need help. Let's move on to the king element of VR, the gameplay. When picking this game up, you might think this is a large-scale blade and sorcery battle. Well, if that's what you want, then you will be sorely disappointed. The fighting in the game does not come anywhere close to blade and sorcery. Now there are positives and negatives in the game though. The first positive is that Tales of Glory is actually quite fun to play and is an unbelievable workout. I don't sweat much, but this game had me dripping. So much so that I was worried about damaging my headset. So there is a word of warning to you there. But why is this such a workout? Well, one of the reasons is also a negative. In the beginning of the game, you will be ridiculously underpowered. I was beating the same person for a good 5 minutes straight and he just would not die. The enemy was covered in blood so much so that he should have bled out. But no, he just kept coming forward. I was thinking, am I missing something? Do I need to do something else to beat him? This is where the frustration started. I could understand if it was due to hitting armor and that was protecting them, but I don't think that's actually the reason. I believe some enemies just have a crap ton of health. The armor doesn't seem to play that much of a part as I initially thought it did. Because even if I sliced someone's flesh, it didn't kill them. That being said, however, if you stab them in a particular way, then that will kill most enemies not covered in armor. It was just so confusing. I'm not fencing, I have a blade that should slice the enemy. Why do I need to poke them? The collision of the game is quite shocking as well, which makes it even harder to stab the enemy, as they have rubber-like skin and your stab most of the time just slides off. The best technique I found was kicking the enemy to the ground, and any one strike will kill them, no matter who it is. The question comes up, why? If they're on the ground or unbalanced, suddenly the one hit will kill them? It makes no sense. Although I really don't want them to get rid of this mechanic because that's the only way you're going to win the battle. Before I learnt of this, I was hacking and slicing so much but nothing was happening. One positive I found from all of this was it reminded me of my childhood, where you have created a story in your mind that is just you against 100 enemies and you're taking them all down like a boss.
Dish.
Or was that just me? Even the spinning round in circle technique works here. Moving on to other gameplay elements, you have a bird's eye view of your character when you're in the story mode. And when you move, so can your enemies. I actually like that concept, although they seem to move faster than you. Your aim is to recruit villagers into your army. Although I didn't know this for the first several fights and was just going at it alone like the last samurai. You capture villages and cities and then build buildings such as barracks, taverns and poop holes in an attempt to grow your empire. You will have other factions and barbarians come to you to fight, and you can have a dialogue with them before fighting. Honestly speaking, it is the worst and dumbest dialogue I have ever seen. It made the game look like a parody than an actual game you paid for. I am all up for silly humour, but it needs to match what you're doing. The dialogue just seemed childish, stupid and wasn't really funny. Overall though, the fun part of the game is the fighting, up to a point, as it does get stale after a while since it's the same thing you're doing over and over again. There are different enemy types and boss battles which keep the game a little bit more interesting, but the bosses are just sponges that you just need to grab and beat for like 10 minutes before they die.
I'm gonna burn your ass! Just die! Come on, let me just barbecue you.
When you have an army, it doesn't really get any easier, but you don't need to control them. Once I told them to hold a position, the enemy came and just slaughtered them. Now that is obedience, where you're not even going to fight back just because I told them to stand there. Obedience or bad game design. There is a long campaign, potentially going over 30 hours. Plus there are quite a few other elements that I have not covered, but they won't make that much of a difference to the score at this point. My biggest issue with the game is that it has come out of early access, where this game looks like it should have just come into early access. I have even included this game in my forgotten games list, but now that it has come out of early access, the price they are charging is $30 or £23, which is the same price as Boneworks. There is no way that this game is worth that price, with its current quality. I think it is a decent game, but just way too overpriced. If this game was $20, then I would recommend it for a great workout, as my whole body is in pain right now. But for the price of $30, I really cannot recommend it. So, my overall result is that you should wait for a sale before getting this game. The team has said that they are still working on it, but unfortunately, they need to do a lot more before it can be worth that price. Well, that's all folks. If you enjoyed the video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This lets me know to make more of these type of videos. I will be announcing the winner of the giveaway next week, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video and let me know in the comments that you want to enter the giveaway. Thanks for watching, have a great day, stay safe and see you next time.